Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Week 2 match here. Our second slot of the night is going to be the PSU Blue team versus Old Bay Brigade. I'm Omazen, and I'm here with Sib. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great, thank you. So glad to be commentating with a fellow scrim partner of mine. So yeah, on off to a great start.
I think we're going to have some really fun games tonight, personally. PSU Blue, really classic CCA team. They've gone really far in the past with our different groups we've had come through over the years. Old Bay Brigade, also another classic. They made quite the ruckus back in our circuit last fall semester. And I think we're going to see, kind of a clash of the titans here, to put it, nice and sweet with a little bow tie. Both teams, we do have a little bit of background info on before our match starts off in just a second here. PSU Blue, overall, looking to focus on their communication. They don't want to be too overcommitted, and they're staying focused on what's in front of them. So we'll see if that rings true. But yeah, let's go ahead and get it going here with our first match.
Yeah, I am very excited. We already know exactly what happened with PSU Blue during the game during Week 1, but I'm very curious to see what kind of changes they will make around, especially when fighting against Old Bay Brigade, a team that I haven't been keeping an eye out that much, but I'm very excited to see what both these teams have going on for this set.
Yeah, absolutely. I am as well. And let's take a look at what PSU Blue has in store starting off with. We have Snow here on the Gal, V here on shot as well. It looks like we're kind of just setting up right now. We're looking to figure out what avenues there are to break in, but this Inkjet here from the Decavitator landing a nice shot on Vapor as they launch back to their spot, making great work. Unfortunately going down, but now we're in an awkward 2-2 position here. As we see a lot of members of Old Bay trying to jump in, trying to get back in the mid, trying to make quick work of PSU while they're trying to scatter back onto their plat. Vapor going down. Once again, we have Jay in the corner. And wow, we're seeing quite a bit happening everywhere all over the place right now.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like Old Bay Brigade seems to have the advantage right flat, and it looks like Old Bay Brigade was able to break the basket, and they're already are starting to get some plans in, and it looks like PSU Blue are just defending for a little bit, trying to push off Old Bay Brigade off, and it seems like we may be at the end of the push.
Yeah, a little bit of healthy push there, remaining 68, not bad at all, getting 32 points on the board. Snow getting a really great pick there. And right now it looks like we're just trying to move up. Like, as overall as a team, we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we deny them entry out of their spawn? That splashdown is going to do a great job of starting some of that up. Unfortunately, Vapor going down. The Gal also going down from the side of PSU Blue, and the Decapitator making great work with their teammates, some other members of PSU Blue here. And looks like that's going to be the end of the push already. Overall, we have a pretty fair lead here, although it's not one that I would imagine necessarily stands if PSU has another opportunity to break into mid.
Yeah, and it seems like we may be sensing another bit of a push here from Old Bay Brigade, but as I say that, one player does go down on Old Bay Brigade side, and it seems like PSU Blue may be starting another potential push, already taking over Old Bay Brigade's plat. And as I say that, 3 people of PSU Blue go down, and goodness me, there seems to be a lot of back and forth here,
Oh, absolutely, Sib, I agree. And we see that Decavitator really trying to play fast, trying to work with their team to get up, but unfortunately they were just a little bit too disconnected earlier. And right now we do see them still doing a good job at making PSU Blue a little bit too scattered, a little bit too all over the place. They are kind of struggling to go between the different members of Old Bay Brigade, but ultimately here, they are going to have to still have the clams to break in and the steadiness. I think a big theme of this match so far has been both teams doing their best to try to establish that as they can, but overall, we do need to see a little bit more concreteness. And I think that just kind of goes to show at how strong both these teams are, how much of an impact they have as well, too, within their respective histories.
Yeah, from what I'm noticing here, and there seems to be a lot of like clumping up between these two teams. The one thing that they definitely need to keep an eye out, both these teams, is to make sure to not get clumped up. Otherwise, it will put them in jeopardy.
Absolutely, and when it comes to getting your ball together, getting just even more clams on your team, that's going to be really important too. And what I like to see here right now from Old Bay Brigade is that they're playing it a little bit more slow. They got 2 members of PSU Blue down. Racer doing a great job of building a ball on the spot. They're able to barely get it in. Unfortunately, that's going to be it. But that does get them a couple more. I don't even know how many points they really got off of that, actually, looking at it again. But that does just give you a little bit more flexibility, too, if you do have another opportunity to break in. If another ball goes in, they're able to break down to 54. However, by doing that, you also just fed a pity clam over to the side of PSU Blue. Yes, trying to do their best to make sure that they can't fully take advantage of that pity clam with Vapor going down, and that ball seemingly about to expire probably, and Miku Plush grabbing their own new ball themselves. So overall, I think we may see Old Bay Brigade just clutch this out, but I'm not sure, Sib.
Yeah, especially with only 10 seconds remaining. I think we may be in a potential overtime, and I may have a feeling that PSU Blue may have like a bit of a chance if they play their cards right, especially since like they are not far away from beating that lead switch. But it looks like Old Bay Brigade is doing a very incredible job. And oh, what's this? It seems like
Oh!
Whoa!
Wow!
Okay. Okay. My goodness, I honestly did not even I was just a little bit shocked there for a moment. Like, I did not know what just happened. It seems like a super jump happened, and then maybe a triple splashdown happened from Vapor, and it seems like with that in mind, PSU Blue was able to take that lead away from Old Bay Brigade.
Yeah, I think if I recall right, out of the corner of my eye, you could make out some of it. I wish I was focused on a bit more with the spec cam here, but from the looks of it, it seemed like Vapor was able to sneak in with a team member, able to get the splashdown off, and through that, they were able to sneak a ball in, and I think a second one as well, and that was able to get them in the lead, and that's why it's really important to really try to make the most of those different pushes you can bring out, because low leads like 10 points and maybe a little bit of just additional points you have to break through, it's not necessarily going to be the most I don't know, safe at the end of the day when you're trying to retain that lead. So really good effort from PSU Blue there, showing that, hey, even though the match is about to enter overtime, even though it's almost over and we're down, we can still come back and we can still make the most of it. And I think that chaos factor is going to be something important to keep in mind as we see this set continue to develop.
You know, just the fact that you mentioned that, I am honestly very excited because I do love me some chaotic games, especially when it comes to like Division 1 matches, because like I've already talked about this before in my last commentary, but I love it whenever Division 1 matches get chaotic. But with all that being said, we are heading to game number 2, Umami Zones. What do you see here, Omazen?
Yeah, well, first off, I see 2 V shots on the side of PSU Blue. I think that's kind of a PSU Blue classic, if I'm not mistaken. They do love their V shots over there in Pennsylvania, but I think we're going to see quite a bit of pressure come out both from the X-Flow and the V shots. As I say that, both V shots actually go down, and it looks like Old Bay Brigade is going to have kind of the first big impact push here. Vapor doing a solid job of trying to just keep a hold of pressure going on while their teammates get back. And just as I said that, Old Bay Brigade's push back against PSU, who's already over.
Yeah, honestly though, like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. It seems like they are trying to, Old Bay Brigade is trying to clean up their specials, as you can tell by Razor's Crab here, and it seems like they wanted to start the push going with the Crab, but Unfortunately, though, a couple of players from Old Bay Brigade go down by PSU Blue, an incredible ink jet splat, by the way, from S. And it seems like it seems to be starting to turn neutral here.
Yeah, S doing a great job with that earlier HF pick. I do agree. J trying to cause some chaos on their brush, and S kind of trying to meet some of that chaos, ultimately winning that little skirmish there. And I really love this pressure that S is trying to put out. S consistently, big shout out to them, has really been taking the lead on many of these pushes, doing a great job at putting out pressure for Old Bay Brigade with that decapitator. And overall, we're really here. We just have to see like how they're able to kind of keep themselves together in a more of a stable position. Old Bay Brigade hasn't had too many long holds, as you can see here at remaining 77 points, but overall we still see quite a few skirmishes going on. PSU Blue can't seem to get Old Bay Brigade out of their hair completely.
Yeah, and as I say that again, Old Bay Brigade is back to their spawn here, and it seems like they're ready to start another push going. And I like what I see here. Both the crab and the inkjet causing a little bit of pressure for Old Bay Brigade to push in, just for PSU Blue to back down a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. And Vapor doing a great job with that splash down there. S trying to put some pressure, getting Vapor down, but Snow getting S down, and that's going to be the control the zones back in the favor of PSU Blue with just 15 remaining ticks. And S and the rest of Old Bay Brigade are going to have to really do their best here to just get a zone over in their control. As we see them barely, just for less than a second, actually flip both zones. And that's going to be a large penalty timer for PSU to take care of. And as we see right now, Snow actually has quite the crazy shark as their teammates are getting back up. They're trying to get behind. It seems like they may be successful as, ironically, Old Bay Brigade is actually dealing with some of their own fights. And Snow doing a great job here getting picks. Miku Plush barely taking them out, but Old Bay Brigade's going to have to do their best here to try to really keep control.
Honestly, though, that was a really incredible shark there from Snow, I believe.
Yes.
Just able to create a bit of a distraction there for Old Bay Brigade and let PSU Blue get back into the fight. But anyways, it seems like Old Bay Brigade are 3 players down, and it seems like they're going back to where they started before, trying to create as much, trying to paint up for a lot of specials to cause pressure for PSU Blue. And it seems like, oh wow, incredible double kill from the roller.
Yeah, roller player getting some really key picks there, making sure PSU Blue can't keep control of Old Bay's dome. This crab also doing some great job with the follow-up special-wise, but Vapor's going to try to deny it with their splashdown, ultimately seeming to get a little bit of value by knocking them back a little bit. And the decapitator here also with their own special. But now, as we can see, Old Bay Brigade doesn't have many specials to work off of. They have to use their main weapons to the best of their ability to keep PSU Blue out for nearly a KO. And with less than a minute on the board, this might take us to the end of the game.
It absolutely is. With only 40 seconds remaining, PSU Blue has to clean up her specials in order to get that control again. But as I say that, it looks like 2 players from Old Bay Brigade go down, and it seems like this is where things started off before again. Just, again, Omazen, just the constant back and forth between these 2 teams.
Oh, agreed. The double shots both going down as they try to take a team up onto the Old Bay Dome just a moment ago. And Vapor, as they try to get off of that dome, pressure mid once again, denying the roller and the Splash-O-Matic from keeping control and doing a good job at making that inkjet just a little bit more delayed in its impact. And overall, Vapor doing a great job of securing the PSU Blue win for their team. Really good showing all around, and very back and forth too. Just like last set, really. It both came down to kind of last second overtime plays as we saw from both teams.
Yeah, I gotta say though, like, I do love how I just absolutely loved how Old Bay Brigade played during their pushes to retake the zones. Like, we saw like how incredible they played with both their jet and their crab. Like, they were able to get some pretty good pressure, just being able to retake all of it. So I'm really hoping to see more of that in the next couple of games.
Agreed. And I think heading into this next game here, as we enter a tower control match in Mako Mart, actually, let's take a look at some of our maps overall we got going in the set as it continues to move forward. But as we go into this tower control Mako Mart match, I think we're going to continue to see probably that double V shot, I think. Suction bombs and Zukas go crazy on tower control. The amount of pressure they're able to put out is really remarkable in its own right. And then on the flip side, I do think members of Old Bay Brigade, such as Miku Plush on the pencil, are going to probably opt to keep their picks just so that they can do their best to put out as much pain as they can for their team. But we're actually already going to be jumping into this next match here as both teams ready up very quick, and they're excited, just as we are, to head into our next match here with quite a few fun picks here.
Yeah, sorry about that. The moment when I saw the carbon roller, before I saw the carbon roller, I am thinking to myself, what if Old Bay Brigade was switching over to carbon roller? And hey, I was corrected by that, because you know how carbon is in Mako Mart. It is literally the playground for that particular weapon. But as I say that, though, it looks like PSU Blue are able to start a lead here with the tower. But as I say that, this carbon roller is absolutely going nuts and just like annoying the living daylight out of PSU Blue.
Yeah, they are, and I mean, even if you don't necessarily get the pick, obviously, which would be ideal, just even getting that amount of pressure on the other members of the enemy team is massive. Getting Vapor off that tower and denying them a longer push or checkpoint grab, that's huge. And I think we're going to, as long as we keep seeing plays like that from FL here on the Carbon Roller, that's going to be the difference maker for the team.
Yeah, and speaking of which, they got an incredible pick on Vapor with the Zuka. Like, that's absolutely quite crucial for Old Bay Brigade, as you know. I think the main problem that Old Bay Brigade may be struggling with the most is probably Vapor's custom exploit here.
Oh yeah, the custom exploit is an absolute menace. Definitely being a PSU Blue signature weapon here, and the amount of pressure that, like, I mean, in tandem with like the 52 gal, in tandem with the shots and rush, it really is like, oh no, it's a really fun comp to see played. And you know, sometimes you're just gonna also see carbon rollers rain down from the sky too. That may kind of put a little bit of wrench in your recipe you got going over there, but yeah, we see the members of Old Bay Brigade doing their best here, trying to keep PSU Blue out of their hair. Ultimately, the tower is stalling out on that second checkpoint just long enough for them to get themselves together a bit more, and we may see a hard reverse push here.
Yeah, but I think like what I've noticed, especially from Old Bay Brigade, is that they always like to play off of their specials. So let's say, for example, like the Inkjet, for example. They always have like one player, like the Carbon, to play with the Inkjet. So I'm thinking that they will try to send one player in, as well as having someone from Old Bay Brigade use their specials to cause a little bit of a distraction for PSU Blue. But as I say that, Jay doing what Jay loves doing, annoying the players with the ink brush.
Oh, the amount of value that Jay's getting to is remarkable. Look at that triple, only going down to the Carbon Roller, who is a big fan of that. Really big fan of that incline at the top. And I don't blame them. Like, hey, if I can fall from the sky and maybe get a pick out of it, I will go for it too. So absolutely respect those plays. But yeah, we see PSU Blue once again at that last checkpoint as they head into the final sweep. And yeah, they're able to barely grab it. Snow doing their best here to keep control of it too, but the members of Old Bay Brigade are going to say, no, we're not going to let you move any more further. That's going to be it for now.
Yeah, this looks like a very scary situation for Old Bay Brigade, but again, as I say, they do have the specials that they can play off of each other. And hopefully, like, if they get the right crucial picks on PSU Blue, then they might be able to get a lead switch. But they seem to be really struggling, especially with the shooter players just getting so many picks left and right.
Yeah, the amount of value that the Gal and Shot have been able to get is like very impressive. And as we see just a minute left in the game, I think it's going to really come down to members of Old Bay Brigade, such as Carbon Roll or the Splash-O-Matic. They're going to have to come together to really figure out how to cycle their specials here in such a way where they can deny PSU Blue like almost constantly of their own ability to move in and have safe areas to work around flexibly. As we see the Carbon Roller here try to take a skirmish with that order shot that they bumped into. S doing a great job of getting revenge almost on their partner and their death. And doing a great job of also putting pressure out in mid, but I think we also have a little bit of a sneaky flanker too from the side of PSU Blue. Jay doing a great job of holding pressure here, trying to just, you know, as a brush does, cause a little bit of chaos. But it might have not even been necessary, as we see the rest of PSU Blue hold control of the tower there consistently and bring us into our third game, 0-3 in favor of PSU Blue.
Oh wow, like that was absolutely like insane. Like I honestly really loved how both of these teams really played like during Makomar. Like there were just so many like funny but also like really fantastic like plays on both sides. Like I gotta say though, like out of all of the games that I've seen here between Old Bay Brigade and PSU Blue, this has got to be my favorite one that I watched. Despite the fact that Old Bay Brigade lost, I really liked their plays.
Yeah, for sure. Like we previously mentioned, their ability to use specials in such a way that just kind of shuts down the enemy team. I mean, those plays are always really fun to see. I'm a big fan of the sauce that Inkjet can put out, and S is an amazing Inkjet player, so shout outs to them for those plays. And the Crabs as well have been huge for Old Bay Brigade as well, at making sure that those pushes that PSU Blue are able to get out aren't as severe as they otherwise could be. So really fun plays from both teams. Can't go wrong with either at all. I agree.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like we are going to go now to Rainmaker on Marlin Airport. Okay. I'm a little bit flabbergasted at the moment. Like,
what's
like,
so flabbergasted? What made you flabbergasted? What about it?
I mean, like, listen, like, I don't know, to be quite honest. Like, as someone who really loves Marlin Airport, I was not expecting, you know, the CCA to pick Rainmaker or Marlin Airport as their as part of their map pool, you know, because like I don't know, like because like it's such, I feel like for me though, it's such a very controversial map mode in my opinion. I don't know what you have to say about it, Ovazen.
I have nothing to say about it. And take that as you will. But
that's fair enough.
I'm still excited for this match here. You can definitely see some fun dynamics at play on maps like Marlin with those fans, especially when part of the fan even being able to go up and down is controlled by being able to break through that podium. So we're in a neutral state here, although one of the V-shots from the side of PSU Blue is already down as we enter this match here in the first 20 seconds. The brush from PSU Blue's Jay, able to take down a member of Old Bay Brigade, but ultimately this V-Splash and Pencil are still standing strong, although getting pushed off to the side, and PSU Blue does take the first check and unlock that first fan.
Yeah, and I also noticed too that Old Bay Brigade had switched over to Sploosh in the Minky tab. As well, PSU Blue did also made a little bit of a switch, Jay switching from the regular Ink Rush to the Octobrush.
Yeah, the regular Octobrush is definitely an interesting choice, but when it comes to being able to swing around like Spider-Man with that Zipcaster, I think it brings plenty of value in its own right. Snow doing a great job with that double there on the decav and Splash. Those are massive picks as you're trying to push up and attempt a KO here, especially when you're taking that left or right fan path. Always a bit more difficult, although sometimes it is the safer move if you're trying to go for more of a gradual push and play, which PSU Blue has done a fantastic job of being able to balance. Miku Plush opting to skip, trying to do a pop in mid by just grabbing the rain now. And with the team all having Soda under their belt and popping a crab, they are seemingly in a good spot here to maybe try to push up.
Yeah, but unfortunately, though, 2 players, in fact 3 players on Old Blue Brigade go down. They do have Cooler though, so it's not over for them just yet. They are able to respawn fast enough and even start another push.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, 2 members of PSU Blue go down. The Rainmaker here in control of by Vapor does a great job of taking care of Decalv, although the Splash-O-Matic and Sploosh combo is going to say, no, sorry, we're not going to let you hold that for too long. Sploosh here, really fun pick, really uncommon pick, but I'm a big fan of Splooshes. I think they've done a great job so far. I really want to see them make a fun play with the hammer here, maybe some fun shark plays. And as we see this situation afoot, that might be their opportunity. Unfortunately, Snow taking them down before they can get away with too much, though.
Oh man, I was really excited to see what the Sploosh was about to cook here, but they sadly did go down, and it looks like PSU Blue is about to start another push here. And as we see here, it looks like they're opting to take the right route, but as I say that, 2 players of Old Blue Brigade are blocking PSU Blue's path, and incredible play there on Snow here, getting a pick on the Sploosh.
Yeah, that Sploosh pick is always going to be huge, as they seem to be the primary Slayer Rat player. This side of Old Bay Brigade always causing a lot of pressure and getting those surprise picks when you least expect them. But yeah, Old Bay Brigade doing a really good job overall of holding down their fan. And overall, it's going to lead to Vapor going down in mid and providing an opportunity for Old Bay Brigade to try to make some clean work.
And it seems like, again, 2 players of Old Bay Brigade are going down, but they are willing again to start another attempt here in trying to stop the Rainmaker and taking down some of the members from PSU Blue. But as I say that, the Rainmaker was able to make their way through their plat and almost this close to getting the final checkpoint. Will they get it? They are. Oh wow.
Yeah, they got it through the death on the pedestal.
I did not expect that. I thought that Old Bay Brigade was able to get that pick there, but apparently PSU Blue was able to break that final checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Rainmaker, it's one of those modes, I think Tower Control has its moments too, where it can just be a tad silly. And when it really boils down to it, sometimes you got to get that pick just a tad earlier, unfortunately, and that's one of those moments. But overall, really good showing for both teams. Old Bay Brigade nearly having some of their own explosive pushes there as well. Having some fun picks on their side and being able to really give PSU Blue a run for their money at certain moments, and having some matches not necessarily be the easiest fight for both teams.
Yeah, and honestly though, despite the fact that Old Bay Brigade were struggling to, you know, push through not only during Rainmaker but also during tower control zones and clams. Like, they did really incredible job like with their plays here. So I'm really hoping that that, you know, after this, like, PSU Blue and Old Bay Brigade will start scrimming together more, because again, like, we saw some really incredible plays from both teams. Like, it has been like fairly balanced for the most part. I don't know about you, Omazen.
No, I definitely think that could be a fun dynamic as well. We see plenty of teams come together in the CCA to try to scrim each other, either if they're from their division or even a division above or below. And I think that's one of the really neat parts about being a part of a collegiate community like this. You see a lot of people trying to support each other. To the extent of even sometimes you'll see pickups happen outside of their immediate collegiate teams. So, you know, in the case of PSU Blue or Old Bay Brigade, they may sometimes play with their collegiate team, but they may also have another team they're able to go to when their collegiate stuff is kind of on the back burner here and there. So it's really fun to see dynamics like that. I think that's what really makes the CCA a cool place to hang out and be. But little side note too, we are going to be seeing a play all here, so We're going to have 3 more
Ooh.
matches, although the scoreboard is still set here going 0-4 in the favor of PSU Blue. And this is still a great opportunity, as we talked about earlier with scrimmaging and whatnot, where Old Bay Brigade has an opportunity here to say, well, maybe we can at least take those other 3 friendly matches from you guys. So
Hmm.
I think we're going to be in a really interesting spot here to see what the teams can pull together and maybe some experimentation even too.
Yeah, and speaking of experimentation, I noticed that Old Bay Brigade is switching over to the T-Tech. And I gotta say though, this is a very solid pick because I feel like for T-Tech, it has the strikes and also a splat bomb, which can create a lot of like diversions for players to like go in and get that and be able to start pushes and leads in the basket.
Agreed for sure. And I mean, stuff like Hammer does a great job of just being able to. I mean, sometimes you do get those awkward moments, right? But it does do a great job of just causing those explosive moments for your team and just being able to push in. As we see the members of PSU Blue doing a great job of stalling the basket open. Old Bay Brigade is going to need their own moment here, hopefully momentarily with a strike or inkjet to really just put out the pressure and take back as much mid control as they can, as PSU Blue does have another clam ball on the board.
Yeah, honestly though, like where PSU Blue is at right now in terms of like their the amount of clams they've got in, 56 is not that bad. But I feel like for Barnacle and Dan, I feel like there's always going to be like these changes once after like you get a push in. I feel like there's definitely going to be a little bit of a back and forth like we saw in Museum Clams earlier.
Oh, absolutely. And even though PSU Blue has held a lot of control so far over the course of this match, all it's really going to take is Old Bay Brigade having that one explosive special push, as we do see the T-Tech take some control back, get a pick or two even. On the, oh, are they going to go for the quad? They might get the quad. Oh, barely missing that quad there as Vapor is able to gain some control back with the splashdown and create some additional chaos for PSU Blue. And we may see this basket just barely stay open. No, it doesn't. And that is going to be PSU Blue now in a spot where they have to build a clam. They will have to take a moment to take a step back and figure out what they want to do here next.
Yeah, but they are just like going like ham with Old Bay Brigade, just getting kicked left and right. But as you said before, they are gonna fall back a little bit, not too far, but just to Old Bay Brigade's flat. And it seems like Old Bay Brigade are trying to retake control here, and ooh, what an incredible pick there from S.
Yeah, S putting on some amazing inkjet plays. Jay trying to move up with the B52 player. Ultimately having to back off for just a moment, but S doing a great job of trying to take control of the plat with their team. Unfortunately, the hammer play from that sploosh going down, and that's actually going to be a wipeout on the side of Old Bay Brigade, and it looks like there's a ball and some change on the side of PSU Blue that may put them in knockout territory.
Yeah, and as we say that, like 9 clans left, or 3 clans left remaining, and are they gonna? Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lucky jump
Yeah.
in there with the ball, ultimately bringing them over that last score there, and that's going to be the knockout on the side of PSU Blue, bringing them to yet another win here in our set of Play All 7.
Yeah, like that was. I think this is the exact same thing that they try to pull off back in Museum Clams. Like during the last second, like they tried to get like someone to super jump. I assume it was Vapor that did the super jump, and try to like get that power clamp in there. And honestly though, like this is just deja vu. Like I don't know.
It is a little bit deja vu-y. Vapor has had some crazy plays on their splashdowns with that custom Explo, really being able to bring out the heat, bring out what PSU Blue has behind them. And typically that's going to be, in Clam Blitz, a clam ball or two. And as we see them really just being able to bring out all that pressure, it kind of goes to show maybe some notes that Old Bay Brigade should consider taking note of.
Certainly, certainly. I also do want to talk a little bit something about what happened. As many of you already know, there was a match that happened in the IPL channel. Omazen, do you want to talk about that just for a little bit?
Oh yeah, if I'm not mistaken, we actually went to a game 7 of that set. Is that right?
Yes, and I believe it was between UCSD Gold and I forgot the other team. I'm blanking it out.
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit earlier, we did have the opportunity to see UCSD Esports Gold go up against USF Gold. I believe this is actually the second week in a row we've seen USF Gold on IPL, which has been really fun to see kind of that story coincidentally be told through their channel. But really good stuff from the sides of both teams ending in that game 7. But hey, we're not necessarily done just yet over here as we enter game 6 of 7 of this PSU Blue versus Old Bay Brigade set.
Yeah, and I'm already noticing a change here, Omazen. It seems like S is switching over from the decap to the Sloshy Neo. A very interesting pick that you don't normally see here, because normally a lot of players do go for the vanilla Sloshy, since it does have an overall, like, overall fantastic kit.
Oh, it absolutely does, especially with that Trizuka, and the point sensor can be valuable at times as well. But I think what's almost just as interesting is the fact that the resident Sploosh, the resident Carbon player, FL here, has opted to pick up the custom Explo and tried to go in these fights here with Vapor, as it seems like they're very clearly hunting out, ultimately finally taking out Vapor, getting some chip on the brush as well, and taking them out as too. And that's going to really put us in this interesting spot here where we see kind of almost a pseudo backline going on the side of Old Bay Brigade. And if they can just even hold the zone area as best they can and deny PSU Blue opportunities to barge in, we may see them pull out a game win here.
Yeah, I mean, from what I could tell though, Old Bay Brigade seems to be pulling off this new comp very well. And it looks like they're about to start another push, but as I say that, Jay was able to take down both the Pencil and the Expo here. Very incredible, crucial picks from them. And oh my goodness, Jay is just on a rampage here.
Yeah, Jay really was being able to deny Old Bay Brigade their own push and just put out some additional really great pressure there too on their Plaid, stalling them out if nothing else. And this is going to now be Old Bay Brigade's opportunity to break back in. 20 ticks remaining on the board. Jay goes down on their next flank, and we see the Zuka come out. All the paint's coming out from the side of Old Bay Brigade. Unfortunately, they had to use that splash down a bit earlier than they maybe would have liked to, and it's going to really come down to the wire here.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness. This is literally, again, what we saw in Umami Ruins. Like, Old Bay Brigade, again, coming in clutch, able to retake a zone at exactly 2 points remaining for PSU Blue. Like, again, this is again, as I said before, there's a lot of deja vu happening again between these two teams.
Oh, there is absolutely. And once again, we see some of those crazy shooter flanks from our friend V over here. And the follow-up splashdown from Vapor kind of just securing that switchback space as they try to look to move up and get some good sharks even to Jay once again running around, causing some great pressure as we see 36 penalty points taking down. It keeps going down, and it's really going to come down to how many picks Old Bay Brigade can get out, as we see them coincidentally get a double there on the 2 lead shooters of PSU Blue. And it's really going to come down to how much the Old Bay Brigade can stagger out PSU Blue, as we consistently see them 2 down. The zone flip finally in their favor, and the Crab and Soda trying to make a strong follow-up for the team as they look to potentially lock out.
Yeah, and from what I noticed, it looks like FL has already have their special ready. So it seems like they are trying to do like, oh, I was about to say that I'm sensing that they were trying to push up to get that splashdown and getting those picks, but unfortunately, though, they did drop down on PSU Blue's drop there, and unfortunately gets taken down by Vapor. And as I say that, it looks like PSU Blue is back again and retaking the zone, and it seems like there's a little bit of a neutral going on right now.
There definitely is a little bit of a neutral going on right now. The zone keeps flipping back and forth, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, and PSU Blue is currently primed to still take this match here, as Vapor's done a fantastic job of stalling out that zone for their team's favor. The members of Old Bay Brigade doing their best to try to outpaint what PSU Blue is throwing at them, but that splashdown is going to really try to just deny their entry here.
With only 30 seconds remaining, Old Bay Brigade has to figure out some way to capture the zone and try to at least get a push going in order to try to stall out PSU Blue from retaking the zone here. But as I notice, it looks like Jay is just seems to be flanking and trying to create a distraction for Old Bay Brigade here.
Yeah, Jay doing a really solid job of causing a distraction, which seems to just be pulling the members of Old Bay Brigade back enough for PSU Blue to get that last second zone flip, and that's going to be zone taggle in the favor of PSU Blue, with Old Bay Brigade really putting out a strong fight here, pulling out some new picks we haven't seen before, such as that Neo machine, such as that custom Explo, and really showing us, hey, we can cook here too.
Yeah, honestly though, again, I absolutely love what I've been seeing between both these teams. Again, it's just the constant back and forth between these two teams, as well as the incredible plays they were able to show when retaking. I absolutely am loving what I've been seeing with both of these teams, and I'm really hoping again that Old Bay Brigade and PSU Blue just do more scrims together, because I'm sensing that that these two teams are definitely I don't know what's the way to put it, I don't know. What do you think, Omazen?
I think I see what you're sort of putting down there. In a way, they're kind of almost like a yin and yang of two different worlds, where I don't think we've seen them necessarily go up against each other too much in the past. And seeing this clash here has been particularly interesting, with the members of PSU Blue doing a really good job of just thriving off of chaos and anarchy, with members such as Jay just constantly making those crazy flanks behind, right? Just dragging away attention. Even if they don't fully commit to dealing with Jay in that moment, Old Bay Brigade still gets that little bit of distraction. It's like a little fly that sometimes buzzes near your ear. It's like, well, this fly isn't necessarily biting me. It didn't land on me, but it's going to just be just enough of a nuisance and distraction for my teammates to really barge in. And I think that's just really, I don't know, it's something that I think Old Bay Brigade should try to do their best to keep in mind as we go into this final game here in our play all 7.
Yeah, so Game 7 is going to be Undertow Tower. And it looks like Old Bay Brigade are switching back to their old comp that they ran earlier. And I am noticing a bit of an interesting change from PSU Blue.
Yeah, I agree. PSU Blue opting to go for a really interesting combination of weapons that we've never really seen them even pick up before. Snow opting to have that 96 gal going all over the place, getting a pick or two even. We have the gold arrow spray, the tri-slosher Navo. Additionally, that unique heavy splatling. It's a really fun combo, and the double Kraken is a choice as well. But when it comes to tower control, maybe that is what you need to just cause some of that additional chaos, as we keep talking about here and there. On the side of Old Bay Brigade, they are opting for sort of a comp we've seen before, although they do have that B-roller now. It's been a moment since we've seen that come out, and I think it's really going to come down to who's able to thrive the most here. Is it going to be the ones who can pull all the chaos, or is it going to be the ones who can cycle those specials and just steadily break back in?
It is, for sure. And it seems like PSU Blue are starting again the pushing of the tower, and oh my goodness, what an incredible pick there from me with the Tri-Slasher. And it seems like they're already broke the second checkpoint, I believe, and it looks like PSU Blue might be getting a bit of a might want to go for the knockout here. But as I say that, S doing what S loves doing, playing with the Inkjet, able to get an incredible pick or two on PSU.
Yeah, the Roller doing a great job here. Even though they do go down, they do take out 2 members of PSU Blue with 2 pretty strong, notable members of PSU Blue, in fact, too. So with that in mind, this may be Old Bay Brigade's opportunity to break past mid, as we do see them take that first checkpoint finally. Although, unfortunately, they do go down to that Booyah Bomb, 2 down on the side of Old Bay Brigade, as we see them try to do their best here to continue this push.
Yeah, for sure. And again, one thing that Old Bay Brigade loves doing whenever they start a push is playing off their specials. And it seems like they already have both the Crab and the Inkjet ready, so I'm pretty curious to see if they're going to play both at the same time. It looks like the Inkjet is going to be used first, so I'm sensing they're trying to like create some sort of a bit of a stall here to pressure PSU Blue.
Yeah, we see this Decapitator with the Tri-Slosher skirmish on the far left. Unfortunately, the Decapitator going down, the Tri-Slosh remaining victorious. And this may be a great opportunity for them to just once again, cause some chaos, try to get a few picks, and that's exactly what they do. Even though they didn't necessarily get a borderline team wipeout on Old Bay Brigade, they cause just enough problems for them where they have to take a step back in mid and think, okay, we need to get our resources back up, we need to get our soda out, we need to get a special or 2 out in order to get a push going once again. And fortunately, it does work out in their favor that way. We see only the gold aerospray remaining after a special or 2 comes out from the side of Old Bay Brigade.
Yeah, one thing that my coach has taught me before is that like when you're in tower in Undertow Spillway, you can actually create like a bit of a 14 to 15 second stall fest here, just to make sure to not let any players from a specific team to drop into their plat. And I think that's what I'm noticing out of Old Bay Brigade, but it seems like PSU Blue is taking the control again after a little bit, and I'm sensing that we may be having a little bit of a back and forth situation going on here.
Yeah, agreed. I also want to note earlier too, we didn't really highlight it on the spec cam, but Jay did a great job of just pulling attention even on that gold aerospray pick as opposed to their more classic brush pick, of just even dragging away 2 members of the side of Old Bay Brigade over to them, where it might have even denied them that lead grab. But overall here, 10 seconds left on the board. We're primed for one final push from Old Bay Brigade. This may be what they need here in order to get a final pick. And unfortunately, we see a triple go down to that Booyah, just barely. Everyone's just barely in range of that Booyah. And that's actually going to be the win for PSU Blue and Defiant 07 in favor of them.
My goodness, Omazen, I was literally on the edge of my seat when I saw what was going on. Like, Old Bay Brigade were shredding Jay's Booyah Bomb, but even though they did take out Jay, they were able to still get the Booyah released, able to create a bit of a diversion for one of the members from PSU Blue to just go in and take control of the tower there. Honestly, though, like, I was not expecting that. I thought that Old Bay Brigade was able to take out Jay and their Booyah, but you know, Jay coming in clutch with the Booyahs. Like, I think like one thing that we haven't like talked about is how absolutely nuts Jay can be with the Aerospray Gold, because like I think like there has been a bit of a joke going around in the CCA that Jay was able to get a lot of Booyah bombs in the past.
Oh, absolutely. Jay going off on that Booyah bomb is always a treat to see. And it really down when it really came down to the wire towards the end there, where it seemed like Old Bay Brigade actually might get a lead. Um, Jay was able to just completely deny that with that Booyah bomb, even though I think they actually did go down at that last second there. They still were able to get the Booyah bomb off, and it was able to just completely deny the rest of Old Bay Brigade that lead push. And just moments like that is really what a lot of those specials come down to. And I mean, there's so many ways to play around them, but just I don't know. It's kind of like dropping a nuke in the middle of the map, right? It's like, okay, you can't really do anything here anymore for a little bit, and unfortunately, that little bit was right as that timer is ticking over to overtime. So, um, not exactly what you want to see if you're Old Paper Kid.
Yeah, but honestly though, like again, great plays though from Old Bay Brigade. Like they really showed a lot um during this entire week 2 match. Like we noticed a lot of incredible plays, and we started to notice like a bit of the strengths and weaknesses that this team has. And I'm very curious to see like if they will like continue applying those strengths as well as learn from some of the weaknesses and try to better apply them in week 3. And honestly though, like if they keep playing more with PSU Blue in scrims, then I have a feeling that Old Bay Brigade may be starting to like rise up to the top in the next couple of weeks.
For sure, for sure. But Sib, don't mean to necessarily shut you down too quick, but we do have yet another set of fantastic CCA action here of week 2
Ooh.
coming up. Um, we're going to actually be seeing none other than a Division 8 match from the technical difficulties versus the Squidiots. A little bit of a fun combo there for sure, at least team name wise. So I'm sure we'll have a blast seeing it. But I also want to thank you for joining me tonight on our Division 1 match
Yeah.
covering PSU Blue versus Old Bay Brigade. Do you have any closing thoughts, or do you want to like plug yourself?
Well, if anyone's interested, you can find me on Blue Sky, Twitch, pretty much anywhere at Ciberino. But what about you, Amazon? Where can the awesome people in chat find you?
Yeah, so y'all can find me on Blue Sky at omazen.bsky.social, and you can also check out the Renegades. It's my
Yeah.
team. It's my epic team of epic gamers that I love a lot.
Wonderful team, by the way.
Yeah.
I vouch.
Yeah, me and Sib, for those who don't know, actually scrimmed not too long ago, and it was a blast. And
It
hoping
was
to
so
maybe do that
fun.
again sometime in the future too. But
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
without further ado, I think it's about time we go ahead and hop on our next set here. It was a pleasure to have you, Sib, and we'll see you all in just a few minutes with our next match.